yeah, I'll go tell you guys about it.
Okay. Just let me know when you are, because I don't see it.
Well, just tell them what's left over.
Okay. Perfect. Okay. So, hi, my name's Lon. I'm here running Test Drive Le Mans because we needed a spare run and I just so happened to be available. We're doing the Rookie GT category, which is just this basic, like, first championship in the game. The timer starts when I pick my name. So, timer starts in 3, 2, 1, go. So this is a racing game made by, I believe it's or published by Infogrames. I don't remember exactly who developed it, because this game's kind of like shovelware kind of like thing. It's didn't really do very well. It is part of the Test Drive series, but in Europe it was called Le Mans 24 Hours, at least the PS2 version here was called that. Don't ask, I have no idea. The whole series is a bit of a mess. There's like 15 different versions of this one game alone. It's really weird. Yeah, so just doing the Rookie GT here. We're driving, I believe it's a Viper, because that's cool. It's also one of the fastest cars in this category, if not the fastest car in the category. I apologize about the colors. Capturing for some reason today has been an absolute nightmare, so the colors are really whack, but the visuals is fine, so that's all that matters really. You can still see what's going on, you can still hear what's going on, so in the end everything is fine really. So in this championship there's 3 tracks. I don't remember the names of them, it's not something I really paid attention to. But you do 5 laps on each track, and you've got 11 other opponents to go through. We're obviously just going to work our way through, climbing our way through the ranks. This game is a bit weird, like the handling is a bit weird to get used to, but it's actually, in my opinion, I actually don't mind it. It's like one of the easier to understand once you sort of know what you're doing. Once you start, I believe this is Suzuka. Yeah, as far as I'm aware, it is Suzuka. We're just gonna also bump into these people, not because it does anything, but because we can just show our distaste for the AI and just show them who's boss. But now we're in first place, so this is where all the very interesting stuff happens, because now I just have to keep my lead. Since this is the easiest championship in the game, the AI is pretty easy. So I'm pretty much just fighting against myself to not fall off the track. I'm not really sure what else I can say about this game. There's not much to say about this game, other than it exists, and there's like 15 different versions of the game. And actually, like, dealing with the leaderboard on this game is actually a nightmare, because each version, with the exception I believe of this version, the second PC release and the Dreamcast, are pretty much all different games. Like, because I believe this game was released on PS1, PS2, PC twice, Game Boy Color and Dreamcast. As far as I'm aware, the PS2 second PC version and Dreamcast are the same. And then the PS1 and the original PC release are different. And then the Game Boy Colors, well, it's a Game Boy Color game. It's actually not that bad.
Surprise popping from the commentator. More like color commentator. I believe you also mod this entire series, correct?
No, just this game.
Just that game, yeah.
Yeah, because pretty much no one else runs this game. So in order for, I'm pretty much only modding this game because no one else runs it. And I sort of have a basic understanding of how the game in that works anyway, so it's perfectly fine. But no, the series is mainly modded by Ewell, who used to mod the Need for Speed series. And he did games like Carbon and that. Pretty chill dude.
Yeah, unfortunately, Lon kinda ate the dirt there, but that's fine. Mistakes happen.
Yeah. handling, as I said, the handling is a bit weird. Sometimes I just don't think about it and accidentally go off the track. You'll notice that definitely on the third track, the last track in the cup, that I will do that at the end because it's quite wonky at the end. You'll find out when we get there, but that's us finish this first track. Basically, we're just like 2 inches from the finish line, so we're just gonna pass that. We're done with this first race. We came in first place, which is optimal because that's just the fastest, and we kind of need to. I believe we need to. I think it's either finish top 3 or finish first to progress. I don't remember off the top of my head, but
I feel like if you're gonna finish second or third, you already lost quite a lot of time. So
yeah,
might be a reset.
Yeah,
Maybe.
especially considering the AI
in a real
is,
world it is.
and the AI is like 15 seconds behind. Second place is 15 seconds behind.
So, speaking of racing games in general, like a lot of racing games speedruns in general, they do, like on the outside they do kind of look like this, like the runner just takes first place and then nothing happens, right? That's how it sometimes looks like on the outside. But racing games are much more interesting than that. When you, it's kind of like a curse. Because racing games are hard to understand, but once you actually understand what it means to speedrun a racing game, it makes much more sense. Because depending on how you take every corner, depending on how you take every racing line, you might exit that corner with 5 extra speed, and if that's at the if that corner, for example, then leads into a straight, these 5 extra speed. For example, km/h, these 5 extra km/h will literally save you over that straight 0.1, 0.2 seconds. And that's, think about that. Every single corner you can save fractions of a second just by pushing your racing line further. And that's sort of like the, I'm lost for word here. That's sort of like what racing game speedrunners like. Because it's about every single corner, if that makes sense.
Yeah, exactly. Like the actual difference between someone that's really good at racing games and someone that isn't so is you'll notice it's very subtle. Like not many people will actually notice the difference. But they do take like essentially like micro time saves pretty much.
It is about micro-optimization the race and the micro-optimizing the racing line, like pushing every millimeter on the racing line. And when you actually start running racing games, it becomes really like interesting to watch. Like every corner is it's like a time save. Unfortunately, there aren't a lot of racing games that are just where you have, for example, live splits, auto splitter set up as a live delta. But if there was, then I feel like racing games would be much more mainstream. But since most racing games are just split by track, like it can feel just like, for a normal viewer, it can feel just like RNG, whether or not the runner is losing time or not. But it's actually just the runner, how you take every corner.
Yeah, 100%. And in case anyone didn't notice, this is Donington Park. This is the second track in the cup. This track's a bit harder than the first one, as we have this high speed section right before the finish line. And I have caught myself out numerous times here by braking too late. But what I tend to do is brake just before I leave the road, and that gives me just enough clearance to get the corner quite well, which definitely saves time, because otherwise you just slam into the wall. As much as that looks funny, but it's slow.
Yeah, that brings us to another point of like taking racing lines and stuff. For example, Lon right where he like slightly, you wouldn't notice this if you like just watch the casual, but Lon slightly messed up his line there by braking too late. Like it's not just when you steer, it's also when you brake. Because
that's
if you're
the
too
hardest
fast,
part
you have
to understand.
You have to brake, and then you have to steer, and you have to time these inputs perfectly well, or you're gonna mess up your racing line. Either you're gonna overshoot, or you're gonna undershoot, and like...
Yeah, it's one of the hardest concepts to understand.
Yep.
Because a lot of people do just think...
Sorry. You speak.
Okay, a lot of people think it's a case of just hold down the accelerator until you win. Some games
Yeah.
it's like that, but majority do involve you having to brake at least a little bit. Like Gran Turismo, perfect example of that kind of stuff. You don't just win just by holding accelerate until you finish. I believe so, slightly, yeah, because I do believe there is an ABS, so the kind
A
of
good example of not overshooting a corner there. So
yeah,
it's things like that where like you would just that's like if you were thinking about it like in an 18-minute category, if you actually optimize the category out, like this category is not optimized at all.
Not
right?
at all, no.
So like if you actually optimize the category out and overshoot like that, like you might be like that looked recoverable, right? But an overshoot like that, then an actual like optimized speedrun, think levels of like Super Mario Odyssey optimization, that overshoot would have been an instant reset.
It could have been, yeah.
That's how optimized racing games can get.
Yeah, but I mean, for an 18-minute category, it isn't that bad. What was I gonna say? Don't remember.
So if it looks like the run is like a little bit boring, just pay attention to the racing lines. Pay attention how far wide Lon is pushing the lines. Pay attention, like, is he using the full width of the corner from outside to inside, back to outside?
That first corner I always overshoot. I just can't get past. I brake way too late on that corner. I still need to sort of figure that one out.
And that's just touching the basics. That's just the basics of racing line. Once you actually get into racing line, you start thinking about early and late apexes, which is something I like. This is just over the scope of this game because I don't believe this game has cars that accelerate fast enough for late apexes to be a thing.
I'm not sure. I haven't really gotten far through the game on this current. Oh, I'm off the track. That's not good.
Well, definitely not on this on this category, but
yeah. You can't really cut the corners on this. You lose way too much speed cutting corners. That it's honestly not very worth it. Like, you can do minor stuff like what I just did there, where you're pretty much just cutting like a minor section of the track, but most of the time you don't want to, because you just lose in this game. You just lose too much speed cutting the corners, or just going off track in general. It's just honestly not worth it at all. But you can get away with like minor cuts, like over the bumps around the corners, but that's sort of the majority of cutting you'll get. Some games though, they do like just don't care at all.
yeah. That's good example of this is the Black Box NFS series. A lot of the times, the track, for example, like you have a road, and then you have the pavement next to it, and you think if you go on the pavement, you're gonna slow down. Most of the time, no. The pavement is just gonna be extra road space.
It's just the debris that slows you down.
Don't do that in real life, by the way.
PSA to everyone watching.
Hi, I'm Emmanuel Bouger.
But yeah, this is Road Atlanta. This is the final track in the Cup. This one is a bit more high speed, I'd say, than the other tracks, especially at the end. There's a decent high speed section you can get some good speed on, but it does also kind of screw you over because there's a bit of a really weird corner.
Oh, so this is the third race out of 3, right? This is the last race.
Yeah, this is the last
so
race. So
time's gonna be really easy.
Yeah, time's gonna stop after I after I pass the finish line on the final lap. Yeah.
Yeah. So lap 5, finish line. That's gonna be time.
Yeah. Oh. Also, I think one thing actually that is in this game as well is slipstreaming. You'll notice these cars have what looks like air trails behind them, and I believe. I haven't actually done any extensive testing, but you can, I'm pretty sure, slipstream to get some extra speed. Because obviously you're behind them. This is the corner I was talking about. I always overrun that corner because it doesn't look like it turns right, but it does. and it's always caught me out. It's very difficult to not get caught in that trap at the end. But as long as you stay on the tarmac, it's fine. You don't lose any speed when you go off the road on tarmac. It's only when you get on like the grass that you lose your speed. Oh. Yeah, we're going way too fast for that corner, so I have to brake a little more than usual. But that's just the slipstream, really. But yeah, you'll see where the rubber, like the burnt rubber is, that's really good braking points. Just to sort of gauge it. It's not perfect braking points, because obviously, you know, you can hit the corner a bit better than what the rubber marks are, but it's a very good starting indicator of how well you're, or when to brake.
Does this game have like I'm guessing no, because it is PlayStation 2, but maybe it does. Does it have like the physics part where braking, like staying on like a rubber line, actually improves your handling?
I don't think so, no. I don't think this game is that
no.
realistic, no.
Yeah, no.
The game actually does have a decent bit of realism in, I believe, tire and fuel wear,
Okay.
but in this category, it's, you know, not a problem. It would be, yes, that would be quite an entertaining time loss. But I don't think you can really, on any of the tracks in this category, you can't go that fast. Up there, go run off the track again. Nothing new. Yeah, no, that would definitely be quite funny, but I can't say I've had that. But this game also, I didn't mention this earlier because Dad was talking about other things, but since we were speaking about the fuel and tire wear, that does sort of lean into the Le Mans 24-hour mode in this game. Because as you can imagine, since this game is called Le Mans 24 Hours or Test Drive Le Mans, you do the 24-hour race, and you will have your tires wear and your fuel, so you can't just go around the track and for infinity, you know, but you can, you know, you have to stop for pits and all that, which actually does add, you know, some realism, because that is exactly how it would work on the actual Le Mans. But in this category, it's negligent at best, because you'll see my fuel indicator will go down, but in the end it just doesn't really matter. I could probably lower how much fuel is actually in my car and potentially gain a time or a speed boost from having a lighter car, but it just wouldn't be worth it for this category since it's so short.
I don't even think this game has that. Like, this game,
And you'll see my car does sort of jiggle a wee bit. That's just, I'm not exactly sure why it does that. It might just be the downforce.
Oh yeah, time's coming up by the way, since this is final lap, so when he crosses
Yeah.
the finish line on lap 5.
Yeah, we're just coming to the last corner here. Alright, and time is now. That's time. We did it! I'm pretty sure PB'd as well.
Fortunately, we're gonna have to wait for Pickard, since I don't think Lon was running his own timer. So
No, I was
we're
not.
gonna have to wait.
I was running
For the
just mine.
Real
or just-
time.
Okay. Was it time?
What was time?
I started a bit late, so I think about 80 minutes.
Wait, isn't that a PB, Lon?
I think so, probably.
Oh wait, well, let me check. Let me check.
To be fair, my first
Can I
one
get
was
the exact
pretty-
time that you have, Picker?
I started the timer at 18:07.
That's the PB. Lon, you just PB'd. You just PB'd by 8 seconds.
There we
Oh
go.
yes, really behind.
Poggers.
Hell yeah, man. Easy clap. But that's us win we won the championship. We've proved that we're better than everyone else. And
We
yeah, that-
only smoked them by like 12 points, no biggie.
Oh yeah, we only beat them by like 30 seconds each track. It's
Yep.
fine. But yeah, that was Test Drive Le Mans, or 24-hour, or Le Mans 24 hours, depending on where you live in the universe. I'm Lon. That was the Rookie GT category. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the marathon. I think there's some other really good runs. Like we do have Carbon on Tuesday. Final Fantasy.
I will be running.
Super Mario 64, Bioshock, lots of good-looking runs
we have
at the end.
lots of fun.
So
If you want to find the schedule, just type ! schedule in the chat, and the bot will give you a link.
Yeah, so I hope you enjoyed this run. I hope you enjoy the rest of the runs in this marathon, and you can check me out on my Twitch, twitch.tv/Lonnesurvivor. For when I
Sell
ever
out.
stream, yes. So if I ever stream video games again, you can watch me there. I hope you enjoyed.